Hi there, my name is John Stevens, pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we are part of the ELCA, and welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text and we tie them to an item from the Dollar Tree or the kids' room or the junk drawer or the garage, something like that. Thank you so much for being here and for being a partner in this ministry. I appreciate it, your kids appreciate it, and your parents and families, you are rocking it. If they forget to tell you, let me tell you. Even if they don't forget to tell you, let me tell you, you're rocking it. All right, this is for the Narrative Lectionary, and we are still in the summer series of the 4 weeks in Peter. We're week 3, I believe, in 1 Peter. And then next, after we finish 1 Peter, we'll be moving into Ruth. But we're in the 3rd week, as I mentioned, and the text is 1 Peter chapter 3, 13 to 22. So, what do you do with this? You can enter into a deep theological conversation. Baptism saves you. And what does that mean? And all of the things that are underneath this. But not for a kid's sermon. So, for the kid's sermon, baptismal font, water, pouring the water into the baptismal font, asking the question, do any of you remember when you were baptized? Knowing the people that come up, you know that if they've been baptized or not, but do you know if you've been baptized? In just conversation, and not like hey, we should baptize you. No, it's yes, but not at that particular point where it's like just that conversation. And then it is a perfect time if you're ELCA. In the ELW hymnal is the Remembrance of Baptism. There are places online that you can find this as well, but it's a wonderful way for us to have that remembering and hearing the words that were spoken at our baptism and all of that, and having the congregation say stuff back. I mean, it's a great thing. It can be an affirmation of baptism, but I love that idea of the thanksgiving for baptism and using the children's sermon, this area in this text, to give thanks for God's promise to us in baptism. And God's promise to us is that we are God's children, that we are embraced in that particular and special way, that as we look at this, and it's the means of grace that gets poured out upon us, and that we have this physical means where we can dip our finger in the water and we make the sign of the cross. It's a great time to teach that, but in the way that we remember that in God the Creator, God the Redeemer, and God the Sustainer, we are claimed and loved and wrapped in this promise that God has made for us and God has made to us, and then we get to then respond to that. But a beautiful and a wonderful way to connect that act back into Scripture and to talk about what does that mean for us, using that Luther statement out of the Catechism. What does this mean? And so I think I just really like the idea. So I'm hoping this can be helpful for you, for your own children's sermon. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for being a partner in this ministry, and may God bless you as God does, and may God's arms wrap God's arms around you. That was a weird way of saying that, but you got it. All right, we'll see you next week. Peace.